This story begins at the Botanic Gardens, a place where 100-kilometre runner Andrew Hayden trains. The 35-year-old is a member of the Australian Ultra Runners Association, better known as AURA, the nation's peak body for sanctioning ultra-marathons. But Hayden is part of a falling number of people under the age of 35 still able to go the distance. A Swiss study has found the rates of 35-year-olds finishing ultramarathons is decreasing, while the rates of athletes over 45 completing the race are increasing. Hayden says adjusting to the extreme length of the race is itself a factor which may skew results.
I mean, obviously, that you have to, if you want to run fast on the shorter races, you have to train very hard. But it's more about speed work, and obviously it's a different muscle groups to be able to sprint and run fast on the track. Whereas ultra, it really is, there's no shortcuts. You've really got to put lots of miles in, big Ks, and I think it takes a few years to get there. You can't become an ultra runner overnight. I suspect you need to start off running 10Ks, marathons, and really spend years getting your legs ready to running for hours and hours at a time.
But fellow AURA member Tony Collins disagrees. The 66-year-old says the style of ultramarathon suits a more mature athlete, and a lack of discipline leads to the demise of younger competitors.
I think the young ones are impatient. They want to win the race, from the first lap, and you don't do that. I think the older people, because they know they're not going to do it all in a flash, they're more patient, more tolerant, and they can settle in. And they know that the 24 hours passes, whereas for a young bloke 24 hours can seem an extremely long time, an impossibly long time. People say life's flashing past them, but tell you what, if you want to slow life down, go into an ultra. It really slows it down.
Collins has been keeping running logs for 35 years, which he says are the secret to his success as they keep him motivated and competitive.
Puzzling, felt strong, ran hard, but just still did 33 minutes for about 7 Ks. I put in various things, like a left leg was sore here, and then the left leg's better. Groin is now good, and various family members have passed away, so it becomes a little bit of just a general diary. But at the end of the year, I can look and say, or at any particular day, I can say, okay, previous days on this previous day last year, I'd only done this much, or I'd done this much, which is great. My wife sometimes says to me, hey, you're always out running, you never used to run this much, and I can get my log out and say, no, last year I'd done 50 Ks more, 1,000 Ks more than this every up to this point in the year.
Collins recently celebrated his 6th national championship in the 48-hour race, highlighting the improvement in older athletes over time. Dr. Michael Baker is a leading exercise physiologist at Strathfield's Australian Catholic University. Despite a number of growing alternatives, Dr. Baker still believes physical and psychological adaptations are paramount in the study's findings.
Half marathon distance to an ultra marathon, you have to spend many more hours training, and that only appeals to a certain type of person. I guess someone who maybe was more interested in doing a really fast marathon time when they were younger can no longer do those fast times because it changes in muscle fibre as they get older. So they think, well, I can only do the slower pace, but I'll do it for longer. I'll go for an ultramarathon.
Andrew Hayden believes.
And I think once you get into it, you make friends and hear about new races and end up going from running your first 50K to suddenly these ideas of running multiple 100Ks or 24-hour races, which I haven't even begun to think about yet, but I suspect in 5 years' time I'll be looking to do my first 24-hour race maybe, just because it'll be another new challenge. So.
While the age paradox is puzzling, it would seem ultramarathon runners who are deemed over the hill are gathering momentum. Tony Salerno, UTS News.